everybody, Rob here. We're revisiting fair use because there is a particular bad apple in this community that I want to show you. Don't be this guy that you're going to see in this video. We've talked about it before with my counter DMCA website that I have, service that I provide to folks. Let's see if I can find the link here so you could see. It's rolling on the bottom. Counter DMCA was designed exactly for people that you're about to see, who with malintention wish to get information, to harass you, to create problems for you if you don't play nice. Now, YouTube is not a place to play nice, as we've learned if you're on for any amount of time. People, if you're out there and you make an opinion and you throw it out there, people are going to attack you, sometimes unfairly. And it is not correct for someone to say something wrong about you, to make claims that are incorrect about you. That's not good. It's not okay to use fair use in order to defame somebody. But in most cases with fair use, you're actually using the words of someone else in order to reveal whatever it is you want to reveal about a certain person. This person, you could draw some conclusions. You cannot use the DMCA copyright law and utilize the looseness of the process here on YouTube in order to stifle criticism of things people say about you that you don't like. There are ways you could file civil suits against people if they say something against you, but you cannot vindictively say, if you publish anything about me and I don't like it, that I'm going to strike your channel and sorry, Charlie. Don't do that. And so here we have this gentleman behind me who refers to himself online as Dolly Vision. And hopefully you'll be able to hear. If it's too loud, let me know in the comments. But good old Dolly Vision here is a guy who considers himself, as far as I can tell, I don't go to his channel, I don't know. I only know of him because he is a culprit of misusing the DMCA system online and is proud of it and self-proclaimed and makes a public video shooting himself in the foot, where if someone had enough money to pursue it or wished to pursue it on principle, would have a strong case against him. About it, almost as rock solid as you can get, as you'll see from the content that we're about to view. So let's see what this gentleman by the name of Dolly Vision has to say.
I want to assure you that, if you have to get married, you ain't a kid, okay?
I don't know what he's saying yet.
And I was respectful to them people. I didn't treat that kid bad. No, I'm not worried about none of them people. I got big plans this year. I told you guys that. Like I said, I don't have my glasses on me, and I'm on my phone. I should have probably wouldn't strike people, but the people that shared my videos and were streaming me live while I was doing my lives this weekend and then giving me my 24 hours, I'm mostly going to strike you.
All right, I'm assuming on the 24 hours, he's saying like his 24-hour warning to shut it down. Now, this is where he would be in the right, in the sense that what I would tell you not to do, to you as a YouTube producer and producer of content, if you're a YouTube user who produces critiquing content where you use clips, he'll refer to it as a clip channel, I think, and there are a lot of those. You want to be careful. You cannot, I know there's a person out there who I'm subscribed to with notorious Von Helton, where he even says, I'm sniping Von Helton's chat because I'm trying to take views away. That is illegal. That is classic DMCA stuff. So if you take Dolly's live stream or anyone else's live stream and you broadcast it on your own channel, you're doing something illegally. unless you're commenting, you're stopping, maybe you're commenting. I certainly wouldn't use the entirety of the content. You have to be careful with that. But if you're just restreaming the stream, bad. Don't do that.
I hate to do that to y'all people, but I gave y'all fair warning. I was nice about it.
All right. Well, I'm on your side there in that regard. Okay. No one should restream your stuff, sir.
Right. And there's some.
The entirety, that is. In other words, I've said this before. A good standard to go by is if you are doing something to prevent people from going to that person's channel in order to get his own viewers, i.e. sniping. Don't do it. And especially, you recognize that you're doing it when you even put like this is, I'm not going to say his name. He's in my subscriber base. Nice guy. He says sniping Von Helton's channel or chat. Oof, that's you're like admitting to doing it, to doing wrong. Don't do that. But let's watch where this guy takes it with clip channels who he doesn't like what they have to say.
Clip channels that, got me in a bunch of videos. You ain't gonna like what's coming. Okay.
All right. Threat. All right. What are you gonna do? There is such a thing as fair use. People can use clips of and comment on your content, just like somebody could do it to this particular video.
I ain't gonna like what's coming. I was cool about it till y'all started making up shit, being dicks, and like just fabricating shit.
All right, fabricating stuff. He was cool until fabrication, and that's fine. People fabricating stuff, lying about you. You have a cause of action potentially if you're not exaggerating. And that cause of action is not a copyright claim. And yet.
And cutting shit out and putting in what you want to put in. You're going to see how that fair use shit really works.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? The fair use defense it really does work.
I'll show you that, right? When, people always want to copy and put that little fair use shit in there.
Yeah.
But if you read the whole code, nah.
If you read the whole code, nah. What do you, I'm not sure what he means by that, so why don't we go to the code? 17 U.S. Code Section 107 is the code regarding fair use, and we'll read it. Notwithstanding the provisions of Section 106 and 106A, the fair use of a copyrighted work, including such use by reproduction in copies or phono records or by any other means specified by that section for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship, or research, is not an infringement of copyright. In determining whether the use made, and that's the great thing about Congress, when they made this law, they gave us a little thing that we could use as sort of a checklist. In determining whether the use made of a work in any particular case is a fair use, the factors to be considered shall include. Now, these are just factors to be considered. You don't have to have every one, and we'll see it. So we got 1, the purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of a commercial nature or is for nonprofit educational purposes. So if someone is using your material and they're making a lot of money on your material, that's a factor. So where it's most egregious is how I've already said. If somebody drives traffic to their channel because of your whole stream. Somebody restreams your stream live. You go live stream, and then somebody just takes yours because they try and snipe viewers from your stream in order to go to theirs. And for every stream they're getting, they're collecting YouTube royalties or whatever it is, or commercial money, however that works, AdSense, whatever you call it. That would be a factor in that particular case. But just because that might be a factor of a clip channel making a lot of money, that wouldn't work under fair use because it's also the nature of the copyrighted work. And one of the factors with the nature of the copyrighted work would be the fact that you make this video and you put it out into the public and you put out an opinion out into the public. And when you do that, you open yourself, as it says at the top, to criticism and comment. And in doing so, it's an expectation. Since the beginning of YouTube time, it is the way that it has been designed. It used to be a little bit more directed towards that. YouTube didn't care so much, I think, about that now. But that's where the direction used to be. But it still is. The most successful channels, it seems, or very successful channels now, are comment and criticism. And this particular young man's own channel depends upon his ability to take alleged criminal incidences. Usually it's like, I think he considers himself a part of the true crime community, which is a subset of critiquers who look at what's going, let's say missing people, missing children, and they try and figure out what's going on. And in that investigation process, they're doing a lot of comment, criticism, and opinion, and oftentimes using some material that they get from news programs and doing the same thing with fair use. And let's go back to the terms. The third is the amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyright work as a whole. That's why I say what would really red flag a channel and make, in this case, Mr. Dolly have a solid case would be if someone used the entirety of his work such that somebody would go to the clip channel or the channel that's critiquing him and never see his content. If it drives traffic away from him, traffic that he normally would have gotten. Now, I would suspect that folks that go to critique channels, let's say channels that aren't big fans of Dolly, they're probably not going to his channel. They probably wouldn't go to his channel, and they probably just, every new video that's made about him that critiques him, they probably agree with. And it will drive the reason that they are interested in Dolly content is only to see what he says that's idiotic, like what he's about to say.
No, that's if nobody messes with you. Okay, if nobody pursues it.
So he says fair use only counts if no one pursues it. No, that's incorrect. Now take careful note of the shirt, which I think is sweater, and he's got like a lighter in his hand. What you're hearing out of his mouth is probably the verbal version of pot smoke.
When I hit y'all with these strikes, they're going to stick. Okay.
So he talks about fair use. Then he goes to the clip channels. When I hit y'all with these strikes, they're going to stick. Why?
Okay. Like, I've been cool. Y'all should have been cool too. But y'all won't. So I'm just giving y'all a fair warning. When I get to where that computer works, I go on a channel and you shared my video, I'm striking it.
So depends on what that means. If you've shared his video and you've shared the entirety of his video, if you're watching this, that would be a problem. If you're sharing snippets of it, it's not a problem. If he's going to see any place where his face might appear, and it's a comment and criticism and uses clips of his material, he doesn't have a claim, and it's a solid fair use defense that will not stick.
You a clip channel and you showed me multiple times and multiple videos, 3 strikes, you're off YouTube. So I can tell you this, let me find 3 videos with me in it and your ass is gone off YouTube.
Boom. If you have a high volume channel and this particular individual, he DMCA's your content, this is your exhibit A when you're trying to collect attorney's fees for fighting his alleged copyright strike, his copyright complaint. Don't be this guy. if you're not happy with the content that somebody's making about you, you got a number of options. One, consider the fact that it helps your brand, because here I am talking about this guy Dolly. I could care less about whatever he does, except for the fact that there are people that have come to my website in order to counter his vindictiveness. He's angry at people that critique him, and all he wants is private information to harass. And how do we know that? Well, out of the horse's mouth.
Better start your channel over. All that good stuff. All right, because I know many a clip channel that got 3 videos of me. So when you wake up tomorrow and it says you don't have a Google account, go ahead and appeal it.
Go ahead and appeal it. Yeah.
That's what you got to do. Appeal it. Send me your information.
So there you go. Send me your information. This is where YouTube gets so ugly. And this is one of the things that really annoys me about the DMCA process, if I'm honest. Because the person who files the DMCA does not need to give you, the person who's being struck, their information. It is incredibly now you have to, that person has to give YouTube the information, and YouTube has said in their terms of service related to DMCA, and it's by law anyway, that if in a court process, if they get subpoenaed for that information of the person who filed the DMCA, then you can get it. Now, I think there's a level of unfairness there, because it should go both ways. It should absolutely go both ways, and I would create counter DMCA to work the reverse way too, where you could use my office's information in order to be contacted or to receive service or process from someone who might sue you for filing false DMCAs. You see, when you do what this guy's doing, what he's admitting to doing, which is if he sees his face on any of your content and he doesn't like what you have done, he's going to just strike you and just appeal it. And when you appeal it, he wants to get your information, because he doesn't have to give his information. So you don't know where he is. So he's in a safe space, and it is a horrible, horrible way to, for someone, well, it's an easy way for someone to get abused, who participates in the community for purposes of, let's say, drawing attention to someone who's doing dumb things or doing anything. The person who has the clip channel, they could very easily be wrong. Who cares? They're entitled to be able to speak that way. This isn't a free speech issue on the First Amendment, because YouTube is also entitled to, they can squelch your speech as much as they want because they're not a government entity. But that being said, we have individuals on here, unfortunately, who are squelching the speech of someone else, the speech that they don't like, using a system that they shouldn't use, and they're doing it illegally. And that's this guy. Let's keep watching him as you watch his threat. So he's just said, I'll get your information.
Because that's what you got to do to appeal it.
Yep.
Get ready to go to court.
Go to court.
And then I'm going to make a video about that.
All right. So this is where he threatens. It's fine to get the information. Then you go to court. If he has a false claim and you go to court, he loses the claim. You have so many claims in opposition, which would all include attorney's fees for the misfiling of a copyright infringement action. I ask you to continue to remember, take note of that third little spot there. I don't think we said the fourth just yet. The amount and substantiality of the portion used of the work in relation to the copyright work as a whole. Like what I'm going to use in this particular video is going to be maybe 2 minutes of material. I don't think I'm going to watch the whole thing. The last element here is the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. Well, this guy, I mean, whatever the value is, he has a ton of viewers as far as I could tell. He's doing just fine. He's not being hurt economically. In fact, as he's confessed before, and what happens with these clip channels is you really draw attention to these people. So now, as I said, I know who he is, and before he was filing false DMCAs, I didn't know who he was. And now you do, if you never heard of him before. So, like in this particular instance, I'm using his clip in order to teach you. Falls under the fair use. Let's go back to that real quick. You'll see somewhere, well, my hand disappears. But in there, one of the elements there that you can use someone's work for purposes for teaching. And I'm teaching you something not to do. I'm teaching you, unfortunately, that there are people that abuse the system. And in a lot of cases, people that abuse the system here, I think people get affected by the fact that these people have audiences, and then they have people supporting them in doing this illegal stuff. And that's hurtful. So I get it. But you can't, I mean, and the temptation for me would be to flag them back. But I don't do it, because you give a guy like fodder. If he, with enough subscribers, he can get enough money, out of his subscribers in order to try and sue you for doing the same thing he's doing, and you're doing it vindictively because you want to get back. Don't do that. I know that's the temptation, so be careful. Let's see if there's any last word here from this.
And see how many people go and do it.
Well, I'm doing it right now, buddy. Mr. Supremo, weed, shirt.
I hate to be that guy. See, y'all made it that way too.
If you hate to be that guy, don't be that guy. Ignore the haters, man. This is not. If you get on YouTube and you have a problem with haters, it's time to get off YouTube.
I didn't even want to do that. If y'all clip channels were fair and cool, I wouldn't treat y'all like that.
Fair and cool doesn't mean do stuff that you like or that agree with you all the time, sir.
I wouldn't even do it, because I think clip channels are important.
Yeah,
when they do it equally. But when you blow and BK and the only attack is on Molly, me, Bullhorn Betty, like that ain't a clip channel. That's a hate channel.
Well, it's still a clip channel. You could hate somebody. You could hate what they stand for and be a clip channel at the same time. In fact, what else is the use? I mean, I suppose you could have clip. Are there clip channels out there? Yeah, I imagine there are. I don't think I've ever seen one that toots the horn. Like, is there a clip channel of all the great things that Dolly says? I don't know. I bet he would like that channel.
Okay, so y'all running them hate channels? You got me in them. You getting the fuck up out of here. You run a clip channel, I got no problem with you, right? You clip something that's stupid I do, put it out there, I don't care.
Okay, well, that's good. That would be my exhibit A. If, for instance, if you struck this channel, this particular video, I'd say you don't care. All right, burnt toast. How you doing? She knows what's going on. She's been a victim, maybe, of some of these people in this community. What he really means is that if you review the people he thinks you should, he's fine with it. That's right. You don't review him or his friends. That's not how it works. It's not how it works.
But when you start fabricating things, making shit up, and it's just hate, yeah, you getting a strike.
All right, well, here's the thing. You're fabricating a copyright strike. Don't be this guy. He says if he feels you're fabricating information, then he will fabricate. And remember that in a DMCA filing, when you file a DMCA, you have to declare under penalty of perjury. So he says, since you lied and fabricated, I'm going to lie and fabricate. That's not how it works. It's not a good idea. Don't do that. And so on that basis, bringing back fair use. So there's an understanding. See if we can go back to that screen. Let people criticize you. For one thing, it brings you attention. For one thing, it helps you to create your brand. And for another thing, it helps to prevent you from being a person who violates the law, like Dolly is admitting to here. And it's not even a matter of opinion. It is what he's doing. If he doesn't like your material, he's going to flag you, even though he doesn't have a basis to do it. He would have a basis, perhaps, with a defamation claim, but not a copyright claim. And he comes out and says, well, I'm going to lie anyway. And you're going to have to appeal it and give me your information. And he says he's going to sue you. Probably not going to. Definitely going to have a hard time finding an attorney to file his lawsuit for him and prosecute it when they discover the video that he's complaining about uses, I don't know, a few minutes of his material and let's say an hour of material, and they use like 3 minutes. The thing is, says Burnt Toast, it's his friends who are exploiting missing persons, cases, scamming, lying about people, etc., so that they are the ones who are being reviewed or clipped right now. And that's fine. You can have that opinion. You can be bothered by it. You do you, Burnt Toast. You do what you got to do. Unfortunately, the cost of doing the business that you do is you get people that can abuse the system. So that's why I'm happy to be around if I can. But unfortunately, as we've seen with some people fairly recently, it takes some time. It's very easy. As he said, he'll just sit there and flag random videos where he sees his face. And may not even do that. May just flag random videos so that you wake up in the morning and go, oh, I lost my channel. And he doesn't care. Sad that there are people like that in the community, but there you go. So that'll do it for this quick video. I hope that you won't be this particular individual. I hope that if you are someone that is being criticized on the internets here on YouTube, that you will be able to be an adult and handle it and not file false DMCA claims. Because if you continue to file these false DMCA claims, I'm happy to remain here as long as I can, as long as YouTube will allow, to help people protect their private information so that they won't be bullied into being squelched. I think free speech is the thing that makes the world go around. I think it's very, very important. And I can't stand it when somebody tries to squelch it because they just don't like the content. I mean, man, there are a lot of channels that I'd like to do that to. I had as some of you know who watch this, I had an hour-long video that was done about me alleging to prove that I was, and this is no joke, a vampire. I don't think it's out there anymore. But I didn't squelch it. My pleasure, Burnt Toast. Share if you feel like. And that's it. So God bless you. I thank you for watching. I might start another chat shortly, but for now, this is a little segment on fair use. Somebody had given me a clip. Thank you for the clip. And as I watched it, and I hope as you watched it, just give you a sick feeling in your stomach. This is the same tactics that led to me starting counterdmca.com in the first place. So if you need it, if you have copyright questions, please email me. Feel free to email me and let me know if there, and I'll let you know if there's something that I can do. You can email me at robertreed@gmail.com. That's the easiest way to find me. And on that note, we will chat with you soon. Take care.